I had a meeting with Alejandro Chevera because he's the one who makes the actual decisions behind Laporta. He said to me, yes, we are planning for next season. We are preparing the project, and the president is clear in his position. After PSG, Alejandro called me, and I remember it. I remember it well because I was coming down from school with my kids, and he said we need to meet. He said they had held a board meeting and that the majority doesn't see my continuation as clear. He told me to go to Sport City. I said to him, no problem, because I already said I would leave and I didn't need to continue. He went on. He said, after meeting Alejandro, I went to Laporta's house, who convinced me to stay before in January. Said to me literally, Xavi, I can't see the team without you. I can't see the new Camp Nou without you. I can't see the club's 125th anniversary without you as coach. I had motivation and I saw a big future for the team with the rising young generation. I felt I could continue. All I asked for was a change in the squad. We later had a meeting with the entire technical staff and the Raul Martinez and Julia Tuz. With the two new physical trainers, we had agreed with Alejandro and Deco to join. That is when Alejandro started shouting and said that the physical training was a disaster. Anyway, let's move on. I interrupted him and I said that wasn't true. There is a data proving that since 2003, no Barcelona team has run more than our team that won the league. We never lost because of the physical side. That was a narrative they invented to get rid of me as coach. And one of those who contributed to that was Raul Martinez, who is also a close friend, as he adopted Alejandro's narrative to push me out. Very, very lengthy interview there. There was a media campaign against me. And worse than that, Alejandro has started talking to players like Sergio Roberto, Araujo, Pedri, and Rafinha, telling them that I want to sell them. Wow. No, at this point, people need to understand this. This is my story. I remember that Sergio Roberto, who is my friend and was the captain, came to me and said, Xavi, is it true that you don't want me to continue? So I told him the exact opposite, and that they are basically attacking me because in defending the renewal of his contract, and then he told me that Alejandro is spreading the stock among several players. Anyways, let's move on. He said, Laporta said that I wanted to get rid of 10 players and do an overhaul of the squad. This is incorrect. I never said that. They make you believe that Barcelona is either with me or against me. They have the us against the world agenda motto. This is the way of operating, and it's unfortunate for Barcelona. I'm not against Laporta. I'm with Barcelona. We need honest people. For 20 years, we have been living in conflict. Cruyffism, Laportism, Sandrosism, and Nisosism. These are the words of Xavi Hernández here. Now he is talking about his relationship with Lionel Messi here. He said, did it take some time for me to talk with Messi? Yes, because he thought I was part of that conspiracy that wanted to kick him out. That really affected my relationship with Lionel Messi. But now the relationship is good again. What do you think of Deco? The question was thrown to Xavi Hernández. I respect him, but Deco is controlled by Laporta. He is the one who makes the real decisions. So these are the things that Xavi Hernández has said about Laporta, right? And other people behind the scene that we don't know. That these are the people who, there's a particular man, Alejandro Chevera, that this man is even above Laporta. That he's the one making all these decisions. According to Xavi there. Now let me give you one final punchline that this guy gave. One final punchline this guy gave, and this is very, very crucial. He said, in 2003, I have spoken a lot with Messi and we are all excited, but in the end, it hasn't happened. He has explained the circumstances very well. He wants a quieter and more family life. Xavi in 2023 on Messi's failed return. It has not been an easy decision for Messi. It was actually Jordan Messi who called the club and said Leo won't come to the club. Now, what am I saying in essence is this, that Xavi had released a lot of things, right? And I understand that this is coming in just a few days to the elections. And this is what I call damage control. I tag this as damage control because why did he hold on to this point before making this revelation? And like I said, this video or this interview was done like 3 months or 4 months ago. Yes, I think like 4 or 5 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the time they are releasing this interview. Just few days to the election. Election is on the 15th of March this month, and today is 9th of March. So they are releasing this interview just yesterday, And this is in preparation to what is happening on the 15th. Now tell me, you know how fans adore Lionel Messi. With what you have heard, with all the things that Xavi have said, do you think that Joan Laporta still have a chance to become the president of Barcelona? Now, let me give you my own opinion or my own view to this. I think this is coming rather too late from Xavi Hernandez, because in 2022 or 2021, when Messi left, right, it was very shock to me. It came as a shock to many of us, especially Barcelona. It came as a shock to many of us. I hated him for that decision, for allowing Messi to leave at the time Messi left, because he was the only player when Xavi left, when Iniesta left, when Neymar left, when so many players he played with all left. It was just Lionel Messi and Sergio Busquets that were left with Jordi Alba, right? So these are the players that was there that have been there for years. So this Messi was the one carrying this team. I saw how Messi totally suffered. He labored. Messi suffered so much that even the players that started coming in were not forthcoming. We had the likes of Coutinho, the likes of so many players that came in. The player came in after Messi left anyway. There were so many players that came in, but this team was totally relying on Messi. Messi was the player carrying this team. So for him to have left or treated the manner they did, that Messi actually got me angry. Now, hearing this from Xavi actually is a way of relief from him, but I think it is rather too late, because we have gone past that emotions. Because at this point in time, I now realize that what Joan Laporta did was for the betterment of the club. Many of us saw it like it was like a way of, making Messi or frustrating Messi. Anyway, let me put it that way. It was a form of like frustrating Messi or make it look like Messi has passed his prime. Yes, he has passed his prime, but I think what Joan Laporta did was just the exact thing that any man who has the betterment or who has a vision for Barcelona would have done. Yes, it happened the way it happened, but I think that was a way of letting Messi leave. Because if Messi had continued, I bet you that the likes of Lamine, the likes of all these players wouldn't have, rised. Right? So I think that emotion has left me. I now realize better, I now know better that this man did what was actually, the right thing to do. And this keep the club pushing. Barcelona suffered for years, not up to 10 years per se, but they suffered for a couple of, let me say, between 6 and 7 years. Yes, that Barcelona have suffered without winning the, major trophies. We'll be winning La Liga and some other trophies in domestic league. But in Xavi era, Barcelona qualified, or should I say Barcelona actually were eliminated from the Champions League and now moved to Europa League for 2 consecutive seasons. That is a drop in our standard. That was a drop. All of this happened because there was a lot of things that were happening behind the scene that many of us were not aware of. Now I understand better why Joan Laporta had to let Messi leave. His pay was high. So many things were going wrong. The finances of Barcelona were going down. Things were not moving, right? Until this man came in and saw that one of the things he had to do was to let Messi leave, and he did it. The world cried for it. The world cried bitterly. Many of us cried, wept. But now we can actually see the reason why he did what he did. The team is flourishing again. Everything is moving perfectly well. Though not the way we want it, but we are moving in the right direction. Right? So that is what I want to say. You can chip in your own in the comment section. Let's go, guys.